Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to discuss the next question of our agriculture optional answer writing practice series. And the question for today is, describe the factors affecting the types of farming. So this question was asked in 2025 agriculture optional paper of Indian Forest Service examination. So let's see how we can approach the answer. So the question is directly asking what are the factors which are affecting the types of farming. There are various types of farming. First of all, you should understand what are the types of farming. When it comes to the types of farming, there is subsistence type, subsistence type, subsistence type, subsistence type. So what happens in subsistence type? Here the farmer grows the crops only for his own consumption. There is nothing left to sell, nothing much left to sell. Then we have commercial types of farming. So in commercial farming, there is enough for the farmer to sell in the market. Likewise, there is intensive farming, there is extensive farming, there is mixed farming, there is plantation farming, there is plantation farming. So there are various other types of farming also. I have mentioned some 4-5 important types. So there are various factors which leads to these types of farming. If there is plantation farming happening at some place, there are factors that had led the plantation farming at that place. There are certain factors which had supported plantation farming at that place, and that is similar for all the types of farming. So if you see, there are combination of physical factors, economic factors, technological factors, socio-economic factors, or socio-institutional factors. So all these factors have led to different types of farming, and we have to describe those factors only. So we'll directly move to those factors. So first, I will like to suggest the most important factor. I would like to explain the most important factor, that is the climate as a factor. So the climate as factor is the most important factor which affects the various types of farming. For example, in climate, you can include rainfall, you can include temperature, you can include humidity, you can include length of growing season, So these all are governed by climate only. Rainfall is also governed by climate, temperature is also governed, humidity is also governed, and the length of growing season is also governed by climate. So these factors have direct influence on our crops. For example, if there is high rainfall is there. So actually you can arrange this like that way, that you can mention climate in physical factors. Number one factor would be physical factor, that would be more appropriate, physical factor, and mention climate in this physical factor, so that you will able to structure your answer more nicely. So in physical factor, first one you can mention about climate. All these things are the components of climate only. For example, suppose there is high rainfall, so it will promote plantation farming, such crops such as tea, crops such as rubber need high rainfall. And suppose the rainfall is low, low rainfall. If the rainfall is low, so it will lead to dry land farming. Crop sites, we have to grow dryland crops. For example, millets can be grown in this region. If you try to grow a rubber crop in dryland farming, it is impossible. So these things you can mention. High rainfall also promote other crops such as rice. If you want to grow rice, you need good amount of rainfall. Okay, and if not rainfall, you need good amount of irrigation. But most of India, if you see 50% India is dependent on rainfall only. So this is first one is climate. Second, and you can also mention here that on the basis of climate, various cropping seasons have been defined, such as kharif crops, rabi crops, jab crops. Okay, so the climate also has influence there. Okay, in Rabi crops you see wheat. Why? Because in wheat grows in cool weathers. Okay, it requires cool weathers, dry, little bit drier conditions as compared to rainy seasons. So that is why wheat is a Rabi crop. Secondly, like climate, we have now second physical factor would be soil. Again, there couldn't be agriculture without soil. Okay, although we are growing hydroponic farming now, we have aquaponic, we have aeroponic farmings, but still soil is the most important factor for 99% of farming, 99.9% of farming, I must say. Okay, so soil also has a direct effect. Suppose some places has alluvial soil, so it will promote cereal cultivation, intensive cereal cultivation. Some places have black soil, so it promotes cotton cultivation. So this factor would be there. If some in laterite soils we see plantation farming is been done, so this you can mention. Next we have topography in physical factors. So we see that hilly areas, in hilly areas, if topography is hilly, we can do terrace farming. Okay, so depending on topography also farming happens. Similarly, water availability. If we have good irrigation facilities, it will lead to intensive farming. If there is scarcity of water, obviously we have to shift towards dryland farming or pastoral farming. So these are the physical factors: climate, soil, topography, water. So I hope you understand here. Now after physical factors, there are certain economic factors. Economic factors. In economic factors, first of all, you can mention size of land holding. Size of land holding. If the land holding size is very small, if we have small land holdings, how can we do a great commercial farming? We have to focus on subsistence farming only. But if our land holding is big, we can focus on extensive farmings, we can focus on commercial farmings. Okay, so size of land holding is directly impacts the types of farming. Then capital availability. If we have required amount of capital available, we can focus towards commercial farming, mechanized farming, plantation farming. But if capital is not of that amount, if we have low capital, we have to focus on subsistence farming only. Okay, next would be the market demand. If there is good market demand, obviously we will shift toward commercial crops, commercial farming. But if there is no demand for certain commercial crops, we will not do it. Okay, especially if you see, if we are doing horticultural farming, we are growing vegetables, we are growing fruits. So these farms would be very close to the market. Okay, so that we can reach the dairy products, vegetable products, or any fruits, all these things to the urban centers very fastly. Okay, or very fastly to the market. Okay, so that is another factor. So these things will come under economic factors. Similarly, we have technological factors also, tech factors. In tech factors, first of all, you can mention about mechanization. If good amount of mechanization is happening, if tractors are there, if harvesters are there, we can do commercial farming. Similarly, HYB seeds, if HYB seeds are available, we can do intensive farming, we can promote intensive farming. Same for irrigation facilities, if proper irrigation is there. Okay, we can do horticulture and commercial crops. So technology is also a major factor. Next, after technology, we have social factors which also shape type of farming. Okay, first of all would be the population pressure. If population is high, we had to do intensive farming to serve the high amount of population. High population will always lead to intensive farming, because if we don't do intensive farming, we will not able to serve high amount of population. Okay, low population, we can do extensive farmings. We have luxury to grow different types of crops, but in high population, first of all, we have to feed the population. So we will see countries with high levels of population generally grows 90% of cereal crops only, because they have to feed the population. After population, you can mention here about traditional practices. So various traditional practices have influenced farming. For example, there is, you can see that tobacco farming is, for example, there is. So tobacco farming is not promoted in Sikhism because it is not good for health. Similarly, if you see animal piggery, so piggery is not promoted in uh, Islam, but when it comes to tribal communities, they do piggery. So there are certain traditional practices which prohibit something, such as piggery is prohibited in Islam, tobacco is prohibited in Sikhism. Okay, so there are certain things which are prohibited in certain communities, while that is promoted in other communities also. So traditional practices have influence on farming. Then also the type of level of education and level of awareness farmers have. Literate farmers adopt commercial farmings, diversified farmings, so that also acts as a factor. Next, you can mention about institutional and policy factors. Institutional and policy factor. So if the government policies are supportive towards certain farming, so obviously farmers will do certain farming. If government is providing subsidies, credit facilities, crop insurance for certain amount, certain type of farming, obviously it will influence farming pattern. If government is promoting cotton, or if government is promoting coconut, in the current budget you have seen that we have coconut promotion scheme. So obviously some farmers will take up coconut because government policies are supportive towards coconut crop. So that is there. Next, infrastructure. If we have good roads, if we have cold chains, if we have proper storage facilities, it will promote commercial and specialized farmings. So obviously these things also have a factor. So these are the 5-6 factors which you can mention, and under 5-6 factors we have discussed a lot of sub factors. I think around 12-15 sub factors, and if you mention all these in your answer, that would be enough. And in conclusion, you can mention the type of farming, that yes, the type of farming in any region is the result of interaction between physical environment, economic conditions, technology, social structure, and government policies. And all these things directly lead to type of farming adopted by the farmers. So that would be a good conclusion. So that is all for today. I hope you understand all the parts of the question, and if you like it, please press the like button, please do share, and please do subscribe. It takes a lot of hard work to make such videos for you on regular basis, and if you like, if you share, if you subscribe, it motivates us to make more such videos for you regularly. So that is all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you.